All right, guys, we are live, going live for the first time, trying to test this out on the channel. And welcome. So yeah, s- I don't really have an agenda for today's live. I just want to get on the channel and talk about my schedule, my posting schedule, and things like that, and what to look forward to for the channel. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And if you guys have any questions, I would say post them. But right now, I'm trying to figure out where's the chat. Like, do you even get a chat for this? It would be nice if you could see the chat. But yeah, I'll figure that out. But so right now, I'm posting once every Sunday, and that's long form. And then I also post a short Sunday too, and then an additional two shorts a week. So I post Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, and the long form comes out Sunday. And the long form right now is edited. I have an editor helping me out. That's why you can see a little change in the format of the videos. They're getting a lot better, in my opinion. And I'm not sure if people want that. I'm not sure if people. Well, I think people do want that. People do want edited content. So I'm definitely going to keep that. But I want to start doing the lives. I want to start putting out live content, maybe talk about stuff that's going on in the financial space. So, yeah, I'll probably start doing these a lot more just so I can get comfortable with it. Never done this before. I'm actually streaming from Ecamm, so I'm trying to find the comment section. I don't think it is. Maybe I have to log in on my phone to see the comment section. Not sure. But yeah, so one of the things coming up is the Bitcoin ETF. All right, tomorrow the SEC has to make a decision on whether it's going to approve the Bitcoin ETF, and I think it's going to get approved this time. Everybody thinks it's going to, well, a lot of people think it's going to get denied, and that makes sense because it was like it's been denied for the last 10 years, so people are thinking, oh, it's not going to get approved. So I think now that people think it's not going to get approved, it's going to get approved, and that's usually how things work. And it makes sense. There's really nothing else for the SEC to look at. They've been looking at the crypto market for 10 years. They know it's volatile. People know, okay, this is a risky asset, so you need to be careful. And I think that's what they were waiting for. I think they were waiting for a they're just waiting enough time so people can understand, okay, this is a risky asset to put your money in, and you need to be careful. If you're not careful, you will lose money. So, yeah. So hopefully I actually I'm hopeful that it gets approved. That way the bull market could start. And then for people that are positioned in the crypto space, you'll be in a good spot in my opinion, because right now Bitcoin, let's see where Bitcoin is sitting at. Bitcoin is sitting at $46,664 as we speak. So it's definitely gone up. I don't know if you guys remember, but I think like a few days ago, or not a few days ago, maybe like a week ago, it took a crash because there was a report out there saying, oh, the SEC is going to deny the ETF because they still need more time to figure out if the space is, you know, is going to comply, like our project's going to comply with everything they're coming out with and all this stuff. But they've been saying that was the same narrative for like the last 10 years. I mean, we know that the space is volatile. We know that the space has scams. We know that people are losing money. I mean, we had the whole FTX thing. We had Celsius. We had Voyager. And I'm trying to remember what else there was. I know there was a lot of companies that went bankrupt, just lost a lot of money and lost customers a lot of money. That's the most important part. Like they lost customers a lot of money. And That's what they were worried about, people losing a lot of money. And I don't know. I feel like the SEC doesn't really, I wouldn't say they don't care because they put out rules to protect the consumer, but I don't think they really care. I don't think their goal is to protect the consumer. I think they were waiting for BlackRock or a bigger player to get in the space so that way they don't lose out. Because think about it. If they would have approved an ETF before BlackRock put their application in, how, like, then the mainstream finance would have been kicked out of probably one of the biggest asset classes. And I don't think they wanted that to happen. So, yeah, I think they were just waiting for like BlackRock to get into the space, for BlackRock to put a ETF application in, or maybe to set the foundation too in the structure. Maybe they didn't have the structure in place to take on all that money, all that demand that was going to come in once an ETF got approved. But and now that BlackRock has all the structure put in place, they're like, okay, we're going to approve this thing. It's not going to be, we're not going to wait anymore to go ahead and approve it. All right. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I think it's going to get approved. I think, I think Bitcoin is going to go probably like on the news of the approval. I think Bitcoin is going to go to probably like 50 to 55K, because I was reading yesterday that you're even like once they approve it, the activation date of the ETF doesn't happen tomorrow. So if they approve it tomorrow, it's not going to get activated right away. So it's probably going to be like maybe like a few weeks before it goes live. So I don't think you're going to see a bunch of, I don't think you're going to see a blow off top. I don't think it's going to like go past its all-time highs. I think, it'll go to 50, 55,000 and then maybe settle down for a little bit, do a little sideways action. And then after it when it goes live, then you're going to see the actual pump. And maybe that will play into the halvening. So that's another play as well, or that's another catalyst for Bitcoin. The halvening is coming up, I believe, in April. So you want to get prepared for that. There's a lot of bullish stuff coming in the crypto space. And if you're positioned well, I think you can at least make 2 to 3x times your money. Now, how much you put in is your decision. I'm not telling you to go put a lot of money in. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm not telling you to do that. But it's definitely going to be a bullish time because, one, we have the crypto space. We have the halvening. We have the BTC ETF going to get approved. Now, shortly after that, Ethereum ETF is going to get approved. That's for sure, because it's the second largest crypto in the space. So why would that not get approved? And I think that it's just, and I think that's set for May, because I think somebody already put in a Ethereum ETF. I think they already put in an application. I think the decision on that is set for May 27th, I believe, or May 27th. I don't know the date. I don't know why I said the 27th. But yeah, I think the decision for that is set the 27th, and we'll see what comes out of that. Right. Well, we know what's going to come out of that. It's going to be a lot of demand, right? If they approve a Bitcoin ETF and you see what happens to the price of Bitcoin, obviously the same thing is probably going to happen to Ethereum. And the fact that it has a lower market cap than Bitcoin, it's probably going to go a lot higher. So we have all that. Bitcoin ETF, most likely a Ethereum ETF follow right after that. And then interest rates. They'll probably start cutting interest rates in Q2 of 2024. So yeah, that's going to be good too, because now once they cut interest rates, companies are going to be able to borrow money again at a cheaper price, and they'll be able to invest in other things, or invest in themselves. And then also, when you invest in yourself, you prosper, right? You grow the company. So stock prices go up. So it looks like we're going to be going into a bull market. It looks like it's for the next year or two, things are going to be looking good. Now, I'm not sure what's going to happen with real estate. Well, I mean, again, if interest rates go down, people are going to be able to borrow, so you're going to be able to buy houses. So the demand will go up in real estate. Supply, I'm not sure. Maybe prices will go down a little bit, but I don't think they will go down a lot. Maybe like a few percentage points, but I don't think you're going to get a significant crash in real estate just because there's so much demand. Like, I feel like everybody wants to buy a property. But then again, the renter space is getting, I feel like that it's going to be a conflict because renting is getting very expensive right now. Like right now, I'm renting like a studio, and this is like it's a kind of bigger studio. They call it a studio. It's kind of like a one bedroom, but it's like 656 square foot, and I'm paying like 2,300 for this. So again, and it's considered a studio. So and it's 2,300. So just think about one bedroom. One bedroom will probably run you like 2,600. And this is in Florida. So just imagine in places like California and New York. So most people like to rent, but rent is just getting crazy. So maybe when interest rates come down, rent prices come down a little bit too. And that kind of settles off. I don't think we're going to keep going higher because, I mean, people are paying a crazy amount for rent right now. So I can see why they will want to buy a house, but then also people don't want to deal with the maintenance. So we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen in the next year. But for me, I'm thinking I like renting just because I don't have to deal with all the maintenance. I don't have to deal with any of the stuff that comes with owning a home, cutting the grass, all that additional stuff. And then also just the upkeep. Like I'm a very clean person, so it takes me a while to clean this little space. I could imagine if I had a house. Like if I had a house, I'd probably be going crazy trying to do, or I'd probably hire somebody to help me clean the spot because it's crazy. Like the time it takes to maintain a place. It's just that's time you could be making a video. That's time you could be doing whatever, and you're over here cleaning the house. I don't mind doing it for this because it's smaller, so it only takes me probably like an hour and some change to get everything clean. But if I added like 3 bedrooms to that, because I would get at least a 3-2. I would at least get a 3-2 bedroom house, and I would. Yeah, that's what I would get. I would get a 3-2 bedroom, and that would take a while to clean. Now, obviously, I wouldn't be using all the rooms. I'd probably have one room for myself, and then one room for maybe like a YouTube room where I shoot videos and stuff like that. But I'm not sure. And I think if I bought a property, I'd probably just rent it out. I wouldn't do anything with it. I wouldn't live in it. I just like especially living downtown, like it's so easy to get to everything. You have so much access to all this additional stuff opposed to living like in the suburbs, or you're kind of like exiled from everything. You might have a grocery store nearby. You might have like a Best Buy, but that's about it. You don't really have anything else. So yeah, I was thinking about getting a condo as well. But the thing about condos is the HOA fees. Like, I know downtown, I was looking at condos downtown, and the HOA fees are like $1,500 for some of the houses. Maybe, actually, no, I'm lying. 700 to like 1,000, which is not any better. That's a lot of money for HOA fees. So it's basically like a little mortgage on your condo. Let's say if you're most likely not going to pay the condo off. That's like, I'm not going to put all like cash down for a condo because the condos go for like 300,000-400,000. So that's definitely not going to happen. And so you're going to get a mortgage. Let's say you put 20% down and you're paying, let's just say it's like a $400,000 or $500,000 condo. you're paying like 1,500 to 2,000 a yeah, a month, and then you got to tag on another 700 to 1,000 for HOA fees. Doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm not gonna now. Again, I would buy a condo to rent it out. Let's say I bought a $500,000 condo, and I rented it out. I probably break even with all the HOA fees, because you got to think about it. You're paying HOA fees. You're paying the taxes on the house each year, maintenance, the mortgage. Like, you would have to buy it cash for it to make sense as far as an investment, from an investment standpoint. Because I mean, you would probably literally have to still pay 500 to 1,000 out of your pocket to keep up with all the expenses. It's not going to make any sense. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens with the real estate market. I'm not sure right now. I'm not sure what I want to do with that. I definitely want to get in real estate, but what I've found is that paper assets are so much easier, and it's just like so much liquid to get out of. I know I was watching a video by Grant Cardone, and he was saying you don't want to be liquid, you want everything to be e-liquid, like not liquid. And I get what he's saying, because it's hard to lose your money when something's not that liquid. But again, it's really like, okay, you buy a property for 500,000, and then you got to wait 3 to 5 years. Maybe you get 200,000 out of that. And then if it's your main property, you don't have to pay, I think, up to $250,000 in gains, of capital gains. You don't have to pay the IRS, so you may be able to get all that clean if it's your primary residence. I think that's the case. I think if it's your primary residence, you get to exempt like $250,000 worth of capital gains. But I'm not sure. But again, it's 5 years, opposed to, you get into a stock, and then all the paperwork that goes with that. Like, it's not an easy process. You got to put it on the market. You got to wait for a buyer. And then you got to go through the back and forth. They're going to want a lower price, so they're going to be, trying to haggle you all the way down. And you got to go through that whole process, opposed to, let's say you invested that 500, or you say, because you put 20% down. So let's say that 200,000 that you put into the home, you put down on like Tesla stock. Tesla stock is whatever, 200, and then it goes to like 150 or 400. Now you double your money. Whether that happens in a year or not, you got to pay long-term capital gains or short-term capital gains. And it's a lot easier process, like just to go in your brokerage account and just sell, click the button. It happens within seconds. So yeah, obviously you need to know what you're doing. It's not that easy, but I feel like if you stick to the top 10 companies, within 5 years, 3 to 5 years, you'll get that double. And it's just an easier process to get out of, in my opinion. I just found paper assets to be so much easier. I'm not saying that I'll never get into real estate, but it's like, it's not the easiest thing to deal with, let's just say, because I was also looking at real estate in New York. Like, all right, so let me give you an example. Let's just say you made $1 million, and I was looking. Let's just say we're just randomly somebody made $1 million, and you want to make a decent return on that $1 million. Like, your options are this: you could put it in an ETF that's going to make you 3 to 5%. I'm not sure, and I don't think ETFs take a fee. I think mutual funds are the ones that take a fee. But yeah, so let's say you put it in an ETF, 5%, you're making like $50,000 to $60,000 a year. Now, let's say that you bought a property in New York for $1 million, right? And the rents in New York is crazy. But $1 million property in New York is not that big of a deal. The properties on average are like 1.5 to like 3 point something, like the decent ones. You could get a decent property for $1 million, but it's it's not the best, probably not the best property in New York since all the properties are going for so much. All right, so let's say you $1 million, right? Let's say you could get, and it's a maybe like a two. I don't think it's gonna be a 3 bedroom. Let's just say a 2 bedroom, and you could rent that out for maybe like 6K, six. Let's just say 6,500, right? And maybe I'm being generous with that. 6,500 times 12 is $78,000. Now, I'm not sure if I'm assuming that place might have HOA fees on $1 million. Maybe you're paying like 450, 350 a month for HOA fees. So out of that 78,000, take off 5,000 for HOA fees. All right, 73,000. Now, I'm pretty sure with that income that you're getting in, you got to pay some taxes on that. Like, I think it would be equivalent to dividend taxes. I'm not sure if they charge for rental income, like what tax bracket or tax sector that would be in. But probably around, I think it would be considered like income, like tax. So, let's just say 20% on that is going to go away. So you're really 20% on 73,000. So you only have 80% of that. So you get 58,400 left out of that rent. And then maybe like, I mean, let's say it's not that much upkeep. We'll probably put like $300 to $400 on maintenance. $300 to $400 on maintenance. So like, let's just subtract another 5,000 for maintenance and stuff like that. So 53,400. So that you're getting 53,400 divided by 12, right? So that's 4,450. That's the same money that you would get investing in an ETF. And with the ETF, you don't have to deal with all that stuff. You don't have to deal with tenants and toilets and all this other stuff that comes with owning a property. So I don't know. I think it makes sense at a certain point. I think investing in a property makes sense at a certain point. It has to be a property in which you're getting a substantial amount of rent. And I honestly, in my opinion, it doesn't make sense if you don't really pay close to cash, because if you're going to have a mortgage on that, it's just not going to make sense. So that's why I said if you had $1 million, you just pay off the property and then you compared it to like an ETF. But yeah. But I think I just went on a tangent. That is basically the what I thought was going to happen. So I was comparing, we were talking about real estate, right? Yeah, we were talking about real estate. I think real estate, and I was saying I think real estate's going to do good. And then I was comparing it to why I think paper assets is better. And that's why I think paper assets is better. I think it's just easier. Not that it's that I think it is better as far as from a liquidity standpoint, getting in and out, the headache, no headache of maintaining stuff. You could just get, buy and sell pretty much. But yeah. I think I'm going to end the live now. I appreciate nobody actually tuned in, but it's just, I'm going to start doing these. I don't know if I'll keep this one up. I'll probably review it just to see, but I did this early in the morning, so I might keep it up, might not, I'm not sure. But yeah, if you guys watch this later, I think this is going to be available to you guys to watch later. Hope you enjoy, and then I'll be coming out with more in the future. Peace out.